Kia ora, welcome into Net Gains as we have another bumper few days of the Football World Cup. Alex Chapman, Ricardo Ball. We're going to look back at some of the matches so far. We'll also look ahead to 3 games. We've got $50 each to spend. We'll have a look at those. We've got a long shot, and old mate Goran Paladin is going to swing by as well. Rick, there's no praise like self-praise. How have your first few days of the World Cup gone?
Well, there's been some hits, so let's hit the hits first. It's always good to start on a high, right? Yeah, Brazil versus Morocco. I actually said on the record I thought it would be 1-1, but the bet that I put on was Morocco to score first, which paid $3. So happy with that return. And Japan-Netherlands is another one that I got. I said Japan or the draw. I thought that the market was out with that one. You got $3.50 on Japan on the draw, or $1.75 Japan or the draw, and I managed to get on that as well. How about yourself?
Yeah, I got on that as well. I also got on the Brazil-Morocco game as Morocco to cover the +1 handicap. I know both of us liked them or the draw. So that to me so far has been the game of the tournament, hasn't it? So let's look ahead. England against Croatia. A lot of focus on the Poms, how they're going to go. Thursday at 8 o'clock New Zealand time. Tuchel has said that they've got players and options for all scenarios. I don't trust this defence, to be honest. If you look at Gay, Stones, Konza as the potential centre-back combinations, and then the other side of it, if you're going to do that and have a weaker defence like Brazil, France, where are your goals going to come from? And I don't quite see it for England, to be honest, outside of Harry Kane.
Yeah, I mean, it's all Harry Kane, isn't it? And that's part of the problem I think they've had. And because the other thing that we're finding is that Kane seems to drift deep. He's almost playing like a 10 or maybe a false 9. Remember Roberto Firmino for Liverpool in those days wore the 9 on his back, but he ended up playing more of a playmaker role. And Kane's kind of doing that, which is, I think England look better with Morgan Rogers in the 10 than Jude Bellingham, because Morgan Rogers is more likely to make those runs past Harry Kane. But yeah, you're right. I think this is going to be a tight game. I mean, you go back to 2018, of course, Croatia knocked England out in the semis. It went to extra time. It was 2-1. Since then, they've played a couple of times, and there hasn't been a lot in it. I think it's a 1-0 win and a 2-1 win and a 0-0 draw. So England have got the chocolates the last 2 of the last 3, but it's all been really tight.
Well, based on that, every meeting since 2009 has been decided as a draw or by 1 goal. So based on that, at more than even money, I'm getting on Croatia to cover the +1 handicap. I also still like, and we mention it in the futures episode of Net Gains, both these sides to qualify at $1.67 is money for jam, I think.
It is. I mean, I looked at a same-game multi here and just looked at some of the stats, and I went, well, England tend to score first in their games. I think they've scored first in 8 of their last 9 matches. Croatia will tend to score. I think they will find a way past this England defence. I put that in there. Under 3.5 goals and under 10.5 corners as well, because both these teams tend to keep possession a lot. So you put all that together, pays $6.45.
All right, let's have a look at Portugal against DR Congo.
Dr. Congo, thank you.
Sorry. Dr. Congo. He didn't go to medical school for nothing. Dr. Congo. Put some respect on the man's name. Portugal scored 20 goals in their 6 qualifying matches. So even without 48, 49, are we calling him 50-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo? I think they can score Father Time. Congo, meanwhile, just 4 goals in their last 5 games. 2 of them came in a 2-0 win over Bermuda, who, with all due respect, are hardly much chops. So Portugal to win. Portugal will score in both halves. Over 2.5 goals for Portugal as well. Whack an SGM cover on that. You're getting just under $3 for that. By the way, if you place a 3-leg SGM and if 1 leg falls over, you're going to get $50 in bonus cash throughout this tournament.
We've got a little bit that we can look at here on both these teams. They both played Chile in the lead-up. Portugal beat Chile 2-1. DR Congo lost 2-1 to Chile. There were red cards. Dr. Congo, yes. But there were red cards in the Portugal game. I've got Portugal to win both halves. I think that works. And I also have Portugal to score over 2.5 goals. You put those two together, you're getting $3.12.
Let's have a look at 2 teams who I think caused maybe 2 of the 3 biggest upsets so far in this tournament, or 2 of the 3 biggest shocks. Australia and the USA. I don't know about you. Even with my New Zealand bias, I loved seeing Australia do what they did in their opening match against Turkey. That was just underdog, battler, fight for it. It's almost in their DNA sort of performance, wasn't it, from the Aussies? It was.
It was a really battling performance, you know, and the Turks had 30 shots on goal, right? 30. And they had 72% possession. They didn't score. You remember the Arsenal team towards the end of Arsene Wenger's reign, when they had Ozil and they had Rosicky and they had Wilshere and they had Ramsey and all those guys, and there was a lot of passing but very little penetration. That's what the Turks were like in that game for me. And to see Kanoglu afterwards go, well, they just had 2 long balls. You know, it'd like be really dismissive, but it worked. And credit to Tony Popovic too, naming Patrick Beach in goal over Matty Ryan and naming Ocon Isla in midfield over somebody like Jackson Irvine. Brave calls from a coach that paid off.
On the other side, the hosts or co-hosts dominated the opening match. They still conceded though. They have not kept a clean sheet since September. So if we have a look at this one, you're getting almost even money for both teams to score.
That's good.
I don't think it's going to be overly high scoring. We saw that defiant defence from the Aussies. Chucking under 4.5 goals with both teams to score, you're getting 240.
Caceres for Paraguay was marking Captain America, Christian Pulisic, was booked after 10 minutes, right? So I'm looking at who's going to mark him for Australia. It's Jacob Italiano, no relation to Chiefy, I don't think. But him to be booked any time, $4.50 for probably the best player in this American team. I think $4.50 on Italiano to be booked any time makes sense.
I mentioned that attacking potency of France.
Yep.
I think we're going to see a lot of 3-1, 4-1 sort of wins for the French. If I have a look at my long shot in this one, you're going to get $12 for France to win 3-1. If you want even more value, 19s for them to win 4-1 in their opening match.
All right, well, my long shot, I'm going to go Ghana versus Panama. Now, Panama haven't been in bad form, but they did lose 6-2 to Brazil recently, and 4 of those goals came down the left. Antoine Semenyo, you may have heard of him, plays for Ghana.
Yes.
Him to score 2 or more goals against Panama pays $17. I couldn't believe that when I saw it, so I'm all over that.
Yeah, it's absolute value. Goran Paladin, you've been having a listen to all of those, my friend. First of all, welcome. And how have you found this tournament so far? You must be a pig in you-know-what.
I am. Hello, Alex, and hello, Ricardo. Yeah, it's just brilliant, isn't it? What was that old line from a Saturday Night Live show where Will Ferrell's like pounding that cowbell and Christopher Walken comes out and he's like, I've got a fever and the only cure is more cowbell? I feel like I've got a football fever and the only cure is more football. So I am that pig and shit, Alex. Yeah, it's so good. Great to see you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, nice to see you as well, mate. Thank you for that. I know you've got a challenge for us as well. Before we get into that, what's been the highlight for you so far?
The highlight, as you've been talking about, the Australian performance and those breakout goals, and they both came from the A-League, essentially. So Connor Metcalf, a history with Melbourne City, and Nesiri Irinkunda, he was banging in goals like that for Adelaide United a few years back.
So given all the pig and you-know-what, Goran, you got a bit of a challenge for us. What is it?
Yeah, I've got I don't know how you're going to do this because there have been goals all over this tournament so far. So I need you to apply the following line to a game. I want you to find total goals under 0.5. I'm looking for a goalless draw. Where is it coming from?
Okay. While we do a little bit of research ourselves, what's your same game multi, mate?
Same game. Well, I've got it's not a same game multi. It's a multi across a multitude of games.
Even better.
Yeah. So it basically spans throughout the course of this week. So bear with me. In the Spain versus Cape Verde fixture, I've got total goals over 4.5. I've got a couple of guys to either score or assist in their matches. Kylian Mbappe for France against Senegal, score or assist. Martin Odegaard, the Norwegian, against Iraq to score or assist. And then to top it all off, my Croatia securing a draw against England. And that 4-leg multi pays just a shade over $27.
Oh, I do like that. Okay, you're right. We had to go a little bit of value hunting here to try and find this. You mentioned your Croatia. I'm going to have a look at your Croatia. England against Croatia, a 0-0 draw. Pays $9.
That's where I was going to go.
Oh, sorry, mate.
Okay. Well, actually, I'll tell you what. Here's another one that I think might be a candidate for 0-0. They did play reasonably well against the Dutch pre-tournament. That is Uzbekistan. They lost 2-1 to 2 penalties. One was in the 98th minute against Colombia, who everything still goes through 34-year-old James Rodriguez. The Colombians, I don't think, are that great. Under 0.5 goals in that game pays $10.
Oh, okay. We've got absolute value here. Hey, Goran, thanks so much, mate. Really appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of this fantastic tournament as you are a pig rolling around. And we're going to call it mud. We're going to be Yeah, as safe as possible.
Love the
Yeah.
mud.
Yeah,
Love the mud.
pig and mud here. Hey, thanks so much for
Need
joining
more.
us. Thanks a lot, mate. Thank you as well for joining us on the latest episode of Net Gains. We'll catch you later in the week. Enjoy your football.